Hey guys, it's Joseph. Welcome to Can't Change That podcast, where we talk openly about things that we can't change and we live through them anyway. Before we begin today's episode, we wanted to give a trigger warning. This conversation includes discussion of suicide, depression, and mental health challenges, which may be upsetting or triggering to some listeners. So please take care of yourself while listening and know it's okay to skip this episode if you need to. If you or someone you know is struggling, help is available, and we do encourage you to reach out to a mental health professional or contact a crisis line in your area. There will be resources listed below as well. Thank you and hope you enjoy.
If you're going to be, this is why I'm going for what I'm going for, like family and marriage therapy, because it's magic and it's maintenance and it's work every day to have two people choose each other.
Absolutely.
And it goes back to, it's real life when death happens.
Yeah.
It's real life when someone loses their job. If a child passes away. If a parent passes, again, death. If a promotion didn't work out. If a friendship fell through. And I think to go through it's so easy to be a great partner when things are thriving.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But when things are so low, that's when it's like, are you really my partner?
Absolutely. And in the first 3 years of marriage, one of us lost a job.
Yeah.
We lost a child. We, actually, we both lost a job.
They like came in threes.
It's like, yeah. And I'm just like, what else can happen now? We lost grandparents. So
Right.
everything was happening at once in the first and second year of marriage. So I'm like, all right, we're really got to lean on each other now because I ain't got nobody else. Like, you are it. And I can say that if that wouldn't have gone or happened, we would have not be as strong as we are today. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that we communicate better for that. Yeah. We are in a better place for that.
So can you say cold-heartedly, and please don't take this the wrong way, and I'm going to ask, I think, both of you guys that question too, it's if someone were to go up and ask your wife, hey, if you were to lose everything today, will your husband have your back?
Absolutely.
And what about you, Homer?
Yeah, 100%. Because it's like we both have gone through like struggles that we've all faced.
Right.
Even if you haven't been married or have, you could just as well see that the same level. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like that can go both ways. Like there's such thing as compromise, I believe, but there's understanding and being that, like like you asked me the definition of trust. Well, what's the definition of being 100?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that again is like, it all comes down to mindset. Because you and I just as well, we could all be like-minded people,
Right.
but then we'll have our differences, and certain things will irk us, certain things will tick, and that's when we're like, okay, that makes things shaky. Like if we were all to be, imagine if this was like a camp experiment where we all have to spend this time kind of like the Big Brother house, but without all the like.
Yeah.
There's always,
Wish.
but imagine if
I actually have a key I made with my name on it just
Yeah.
because I wish that I could be on that show.
So like imagine like if there was a experiment of like how close are you guys as friends in like a roommate situation,
Yeah.
and then little by little time will go on and they'll be like, hey, like certain things of cleanliness to, well, I don't like the way you did this, and then but then there's also that's the reason why you blend well with your partner and the person you choose. And it's again from the beginning of anything that's just a seed that's planted in soil. Like you don't know what's going to grow up to be. It's like it's maintenance.
And I think, and it goes back to, I keep going back and referencing like God and things like that, but and this is just my belief, and a lot of people might don't take this literal, take this as like a metaphor in a way. With nowadays, and everyone could love everyone. So I just want to put that out there right now. It's that. But God created Adam and Eve. And I say that because God created two people to group together. When he made like the animals, it was two of each.
Right.
And I say that because you're not meant to go through life by yourself.
Absolutely.
I strongly believe I'm not saying like, oh, everyone needs a man and everyone needs a woman. when you're bitter like that, I don't think that's how I don't think you should. But if you change it, your mentality a little bit to saying like, I do need someone in my life that I could lean on. I do need someone in my life that I love, that my best days, I'm excited to call them.
Right.
On my worst days, they're not going to make me feel fucking worse. They're going to be that person where I could just lay down and I feel safe. I think emotional safety can hold you from falling into a depression state.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Right.
Like
It's
codependency too.
they have
Yeah.
they have codependency.
Anonymous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gone to a couple. Just I'm weird.
You're not weird.
They have these online things now, and like you could just hop in it, but they do have a codependency
Yeah.
one. No, but I was gonna say with that's why I know the relationship that I was in the past is I had to learn that, right? I wanted, and that's where I'll take like my fault of it, because there wasn't no wrong or right. It's I wanted to be loved a certain way, and you couldn't give that to me, right? And so, and that's where all like the communication, understanding, everything went down the drain. And so I felt like I had to yell to be heard, right? And so I had to yell, and that's where I'm like, I'm trying to fit this, and it's not fitting, right? I was almost imitating their behaviors, or they were spinning off of mine, because we didn't have the same, like we couldn't understand each other's love language. I'll say that.
I completely agree,
Yeah.
because I was in that type of
That's what
relationship
it is.
too.
I'm like, I'm begging you to see me, and you're telling me, quit being a baby, quit doing this. And like I said, now I look at it from another perspective. Like in your eyes, is like, if there's nothing wrong, why are you complaining? Right? There's these carefree people, and my ex was one of them, and that's where it just didn't mesh because basic needs weren't being met.
I think they'll compromise though. It's when it happens.
It's compromise, but I think if there's no compromise or communication,
Yeah,
and that's like
so-
even on my end, as much as I want to be like, oh, well, it's me, and like poor little thing, you know what I mean? Like I would like you said, if someone dies, if you're not grieving the way I feel like you need to grieve, like
What's wrong with
to
you?
be sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like why are you acting this way, and you just want to be quiet and not talk about it, and I'm analyzing like you don't feel like you can open up to me.
yeah.
Right? I take it
And
personal.
you do overanalyze it, but I think as a partner, as someone who is good for you, I think they will take the time to study you.
100%. And I'll tell
And
you,
that's
it's
the
not hard.
difference.
Yes.
And it's not hard. And
It's not hard if you have the right person.
if you have the right person. And I think that in friendships, I think that with work, I think
Yeah.
that with business partners, I think that it with your kids, if you think about it, whoever has kids, my mom tells me this all the time. Me and my sister are two completely opposite people. The way she takes discipline, the way I take discipline, completely different. And my mom will say this till the day, to the day she's black and blue. It's she had to learn, and she still is learning how to address me and her differently.
Right.
But I see that as you may not get it right all the time, but the fact that you're even trying, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I think finally I spoke up and I'm like, why do you do it like this? Like, this bothers me. And she finally broke it down to where it's like, oh,
Communication.
yeah, like, oh, I get it.
Freaking crazy, right?
And no, it is.
It's like,
But it
that
can
makes
help.
sense.
But it can help with the whole depression thing. I don't like when people use the word codependency as a negative, like a negative saying to it, because I don't think it's negative. I think it's a level. There's a level of
Right.
codependency, but then there's also a level of reassurance. There's a level to where it's, oh wow, like you should go to therapy because for some reason, no matter what I do, it's never going to satisfy you. Maybe we're just not the people. As much as like good intentions are there.
That's it right there, though. It's trying to make, like, I want it, like, at what point do you say, I tap out?
I think
Because then at that point, you're just saying, all
I'm
right, I
angry.
failed.
That's my biggest thing is it's like,
But a lot of people stay in things because they don't want to tell themselves that I failed.
100%.
So they'd rather
Exactly.
sit here and be miserable. They'd rather sit here and again, I've never been married and I don't have kids.
but even in
But
relationships.
even in
so
relationship,
general.
because
In
I was
relationships.
that, I did that. I was stayed in a relationship I was not happy in. They were not happy in. It was toxic as all could be, and it got to the point where I tried to commit as well.
Right.
And
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
no, you're fine.
I didn't know what to say for that. That was weird. I'm not used to being on the other end.
No, you're fine.
You just threw that out there. I wasn't expecting that. I'm sorry.
It hurt his feelings, remember?
Yeah. I'll go home and talk about it later.
I'll
Just
text
kidding.
you later.
Are you okay?
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. This is why we have the podcast to talk about it.
Yes.
But it got to the point where I was like, I didn't know like my head from my ass. Basically, that's how
Right.
like tied up I was in this like cycle of depression and didn't know who I was as a person. Didn't have any relationship with God at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what else is there for me? I felt like I think it's just my parents would be better off. My sister would have been better off.
Everybody.
Yeah. I'm
That's
like,
a feeling.
I'm just making it worse.
Right.
Basically, I'm making my whoever I was with worse, their life
That-
worse, their family worse.
Yeah.
And luckily, she had my location and she found me. And she called my mom and they got me home. Everything was okay. Obviously, it didn't work.
Damn.
Damn.
Can't change that. Oh, no, you
Can't
can't.
change that.
Can't change that.
No, you know.
Can't change that moment, but
But how did you
we
feel?
are.
You feel
know.
guilt? Did you feel guilt? I don't want to say we feel. Did you feel like a guilt once people like knew
Yeah,
after that?
I did
that you
because
weren't
I was watched
successful?
like a hawk.
I know.
And I was like, oh
was
man,
so
what did
mad.
I actually do? Like, because I've never been diagnosed with depression or anything like that. But you know, after that, they made sure I was seeing my therapist, and that the relationship then ended.
Right.
And it was the best thing that could have happened. I think that's where a lot of it came from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put it out there that that's why it happened, but it was the stress, I think, of it.
Yeah, and I think I can relate to that. I've never attempted to. I will never take that away from you guys or anyone else that has. But the only one that I've ever opened up to and spoke about the thoughts of it was with my sister. And unfortunately, this was going through like a breakup. This was my first breakup, and I thought this person.
so crushing.
Yeah,
The first ones get
the
you.
first one
So
gets you,
hard.
but I think with this one and now like it's years later. One, I'm very happy it didn't work out, and not that he's a bad guy, not that I was a bad person, but the fact that someone had me feel that low and was okay with it, I'm not okay with that now. And I remember I would when we finally like broke it off. I remember I was really, really low, and I was the person that was begging. I did sit here and I'm like, well, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. Mm-hmm. And he was going through his own stuff at the time. And there was death. There was a death that happened that his dad passed away. I was really, really close with his dad. But then a whole thing spiraled. And at that time, everything was put on me. He may not have made it he may not have purposely did that, but everything was my fault. And then we would argue, and he said something to me that I think I would never get out of my mind. And after that, I was like, oh, we're done. Like, and then that's when I was like, wait, what am I losing? And I kept trying to grip it and grip it and grip it.
That's
and grip
me.
It.
I just like, no, we're not.
Yeah, no. And I kept trying to grip. And then finally, like I called my sister one day and she's like, baby, come home. And came home, whatever. And I remember I was like in her apartment and I was just laying down and she was like rubbing my head. And we didn't speak, like she didn't say a word to me for like 4 hours. I was just crying. And that's the most comfort. And I forever am so grateful that I have my sister. Mm-hmm. But I remember I had thoughts and I finally I picked my head up and I was like, Jessica, I'm scared. Like, why am I thinking this? And I remember we didn't go to sleep that night. We were talking and that's when I was like, it is time to let this man go. Yeah. Like, and it was not okay. And it took me, I want to say it was like 8 months. 8 months where I was like, I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. I'd stopped drinking coffee. I stopped drinking, period. Like alcohol, anything. I didn't want to go out with friends. And I would drink chamomile tea every night. That's when I started getting closer to God, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I started putting on the Bible app, and that's how I started falling asleep. So I'm very grateful that the relationship ended the way it did. Now I could look back, but I'm like, I refuse to have another person put me that low and be okay with it.
Right.
Like, that's never okay.
No.
And it's also never okay to, I always say again, confine in somebody.
Yeah.
People put depression as such a bad thing and a negative thing. I don't, like you were saying, like, depression doesn't always look like you're crying and you're sad all the time and poor me, poor me.
Yeah.
I say like, oh, you have depression or you're in a depressive state. Those are completely two different things. I think I was in a depressive state because it was my first breakup.
Like a
so I'm
vent
sad.
base, and
Yeah.
that's still a
It's still a form
what
of
did you
depression.
call it? The suicide spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Right, and I think there's a-
has to be a like scale of it.
Right, and I think
Yeah.
there's a depression thing too, and there's you have that moment of depression, and you might need a little help to get. Maybe you do need medication just to get back to there.
Maybe, yeah. And thankfully at that time, that's when I finally had to sit in the room and look at the mirror.
Yeah,
And that's when I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be the hardest thing I feel like I'm going to have to go through because I have to do it by myself.
Yeah.
No one else is going to hold my hand on this one. And I'm so happy and thankful that it happened. But damn, that was a long time. And then when he came back and like, I was like, it just was like so much damage is done. And I'm not the person I was. And I think that's what was different is I wasn't the person you left.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to be that person again.
I can't be that.
I can't be that person again.
That's with
that
me.
part.
I'm like, it's not. I always believe in happy endings and all that, right?
Yeah.
You want it to like, oh, okay, you came around. I
Yay.
just had to try to kill myself. You know, like no, but wait, no, and I don't.
No, for real. No, that was my
But
thought process.
It's a tension. So if we go into functions of behavior, it's
Yeah.
a attention-seeking
Yes.
behavior, and you just reinforce that when I try to kill myself,
You come back and
you
talk to
come
me.
back and talk to me. That's the line.
I could say it. My perspective of life 6 months ago, even, is not what it is now.
Right.
And I think each situation again changes, but it goes back to the. I say that a lot. Wow.
What's that?
I always say it goes back to.
Well, because you guys are referencing. A
Yeah,
lot.
we're-
Yeah, I'm like I say that a
It's
lot.
kind of bouncing around.
But it is. But with depression, again, I can't say that I have depression, but I was in a depressive state.
And that's a part of depression, I think. though,
Yes.
Right? It's you can't. I think that's
But it
still
goes back to like
depression.
I think
Yeah.
about
There's permanent and like so I have we could say I have chronic depression, right?
Okay.
It's like a lifetime thing, but there are depression episodes, and that's all
Yeah.
classifies as depression.
Yeah.
It's more.
I don't even have shame in that though. I think,
think
when
anyone should.
because I did though. I had shame in wow, Vanessa, you let like your first relationship do you like that? And I'm like, well, yeah, because this is a person I thought was like going to be my life.
See, I had shame and guilt
Like-
in a different way. I was looked at as like, oh, I'm bad. She doesn't want to be with me. So what's the point?
Oh.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, it completely different. But it's because of somebody. But completely different
right,
views.
but then then I had a different type of guilt and shame after the 2 years I really worked on myself after that point because that's kind of when it happened.
Right.
And that had that light bulb moment that we talk about. And it was like, oh, well, what did I do to her?
See that part
Yep.
right there. I just stole your word. no,
I love
that part. No,
that part.
because that's where. I mean, that's like where I went wrong, right? I was loved. Like I'll say, any relationship I've been in, there was love. It always started off love, and it ended in love, and it was like that toxic love. I'm not going to say that wasn't there, and that I always knew I was cared about.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why can't you be like the normal Instagram man, right? No, and
no, I get what
honestly,
you're
but I also
viewing and
think about it
saying.
now because I'm like in sobriety. I'm in, oopsie, no, but I'm in this place now. Is like, you worked 18 hours, you come home, I didn't work, and I'm like,
Love me.
Are we gonna
right there.
No, because I looked because I was like, is it introvert when you stay home? Is like I look to you for fun. Like, and then so you come home exhausted and I'm like, you don't care about me, right? And it's these things, but I can acknowledge where I went wrong because now I'm like, now that I work, I
I'm a
understand.
working
Like
woman.
sometimes I go home and luckily I found someone that gets that. Is now that I work, now I really understand. And maybe I had to go through that to notice my flaws.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you tired? I know you work 12 hours in the sun, and then you come home and I'm like, what the fuck? Who are you sleeping with at work? Right? No, obviously. But that has to get, like, you ever where maybe I created that?
Yeah.
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 That's why
That's
I'm
how I
like,
felt.
I
I was like,
created you to
I
be this
let
way.
this
Like,
happen.
maybe because of me, like, being fearful abandonment, whatever it is, that I would always run. The second I felt danger, I'm going to go to my mom's. Right? And so maybe I created that.
Oh, see, and I have ugly guilt in that.
Oh,
Yeah.
too. That's what I'm saying.
In the running part?
in the running part.
See,
Because-
mine, I'm like,
But I created
oh,
that.
Yeah.
no, I'm going to hang on as long as possible.
Right?
And it's going to be miserable and we're not going to, and it's going to be bad. I know,
Oh.
but I can't let you go.
See, and
That was like
That was
you.
some deep shit. Yeah, that was some Joe
So I would be the
Goldberg.
one that left, and then I would expect
Them to chase
that
after
you would be loyal to me when I left.
Oh.
Right? And so 2 months go by, and I still like, wait a minute, we're together. And I
Yeah.
think that was my toxic, because I was so attached, and you're just proving more why you don't love. I mean, I'm hurting my own feelings in this whole
course.
process.
Yeah.
Believe that.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
Well,
and
I-
at this point,
At
they
this
were
point-
like, I really don't care anymore. And I'm like, yeah, you
that
do.
part, that hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I get it now.
You get it why you say that. But you also, I love that you guys say that. The best quote I always have to live by now, and I say have to, it's believe them when they show you who they are. Believe.
And that was
believe
really
it.
hard for me.
Show that, like,
I was like,
believe
oh
it.
no, you're just acting out.
No.
Because I made you upset.
People-
that's
people
not
I
really
do.
would
you.
change you. You would change yourself.
Yeah.
But people will do, men and women will sit here and they will move both parties in a relationship or in a friendship or whatever. When two people are connecting or trying to hit a goal, will move mountains for people they want to.
Yeah.
And I promise you, the day excuses come, and don't get me wrong, in marriages and relationships,
Right.
anything, like you're gonna have. I know this couple that have been together for 30 years, and they have been loyal to each other for 30 years. But for 3 of those years, they fucking hated each other. Yeah.
They just rode that ride.
Yeah, but for 3 years they hated each other. But they would have a talk weekly and saying, "I'm still tapped in. I fucking can't stand you, but I'm still tapped in." And I was talking to both of them because I'm so like interested on how people make it work, how different personalities make it work. But they said they were like, because we both knew each other's intentions and hearts,
Right.
but we both knew we were changing, and we both gave each other that grace to change
Right.
and to see that acceptance. And I think now with like looking back, I'm like, oh, I have a lot to work on.
Right.
But I want to work on that with my partner. And then I look back at my past, relationships, and I'm like, oh, now I know the sign on when I'm ready to tap out.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that now. And it does not mean anyone's a bad person. Like, I'm pretty sure with like your past relationship, that doesn't mean she's a bad person.
Absolutely not. She was a great person. And I think we were just in circumstances that made us both bad. We were
Yeah.
both toxic. It was just
That's
not good
what I
together.
agree, yeah.
Did you
And-
bring in, or either, all 3 of you actually, sorry, I'm not like this,
I'm like,
but the 3 of you, and I'm learning this. It's because you guys have been married, but I'm learning.
twice.
when it went
Real.
to chicken dinner.
Twice. Once
not good.
removed, no, I'm kidding.
It's all right. She's great. But did you guys bring your past traumas and shit to your new ones, and that
Absolutely.
created things like
Absolutely.
problems?
Child abandonment.
No.
Yes. I was like, because we were together 5 years, so very long time. First year, great.
Of course.
4, not so great. But I kept holding on because I'm like, oh, we're already in it, so you can't leave. And then I think she would feel guilty and be like, okay, we can try again.
Did you suffocate her in a way?
Yeah, I was very suffocating.
She's still alive though, right?
Yes, she is.
I'm kidding. we're not indicting ourselves right now.
no.
Committing.
We're good.
I'm like, cut it.
Like,
Are you talking about into the toxic relationship or the relationship I'm in now?
Good
Well,
thing
okay, well, same thing with your marriage, right?
Right.
Do you catch yourself the little triggers? Do you go and put that on your relationship now?
No.
And you're completely cleared on that one.
I'm cleared, and I think it's because I had to dig my things back up, really, and acknowledge them. Like, and that's where I'm saying I learned a lot about myself. As much as I want to say, oh, it is one person, right? We people spin off of each other. I wasn't the perfect wife by any means, and in my eyes, okay, if you don't cheat, that makes you perfect, right? We were separated for a while, and that's still considered cheating. We were separated for a whole year, and I got into another relationship. And so if we want to be right, right is right. Like, we were still married, and okay, I cheated on you, but we didn't talk for a whole year. At what point do you... I was like, I'm ready to let go. And then I'm like, just kidding. I want it back in. You know? But it's... And so I don't even want to necessarily say cheating or blame anything like that. I think for us, we grew up together. And with that comes changes and expectations. And I think communication closed off really fast, right? And the denial of, now I'm like, I don't need no apology. Like, I mean, we're still friends and like cordial, but like, I don't need the apology because I put myself in that environment.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to let go. Right, to where I rather be miserable and make your life miserable, and this is just it. We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
You know, I'll take it for what it is, because in my head, eventually, it's gonna hit the spot that things are gonna calm down.
Yeah, and that's what you're like. Oh, it's gonna be
Hoping
okay.
and hoping.
If we get through this, it's gonna be okay.
But you're
If we
wasting
get
all
through
this time. I mean, I look now, we're already halfway through the year. No, we're not till June. But
Nope,
we're pretty
close.
close. We're pretty close.
Yeah.
We're pretty close,
pretty
but
close. Like 2 days
and
off.
I hate it because the older you get, this time, these moments just pass by super fast to me. And all that time I wasted, I had to grieve that. Right?
Yeah.
So when I really got to my sober state, back on stabilization and all the, you know, I was fine. Like all my bluff. Like, no, but... I'm like, Dad, please. Fine, I'll just go cry in my bed. They're like, no, here. No, I think I have to, and there's times too, I talked about the last podcast where like, fuck, I deserved that. That's what I wanted. Why wasn't I good enough? And I realized that like, that's just, again, the devil like knows when to creep in, and no, you let it go. It would have never been that way. I wouldn't have been who I am today in that environment.
I don't know why I feel the way of. I tell my partners, or I would tell, you know, whoever I'm with, it's, if you're unhappy with me, leave, please. But same with me. And I think it goes back to, I don't ever want to force someone to be with me. I don't ever want to force someone to be like, oh, but I feel bad. Or for me to say, like, fuck, you really do love me, but I don't really feel the same. That's so unfair, because I'm like, I'm holding you back from meeting somebody that could be so in love with you. Yeah. But then I think people, as you grow up, you have to understand the difference.
You don't deserve it, so I'm going to stay with you.
No.
I'm like, no, thank you.
No. I'm not.
See you happy.
It's nope to me, because I'm like, no. If you stay with someone that you know is miserable with you, you're miserable with them.
It's fun.
No. Well, okay. Well, toxic Mary. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what that's called.
Yeah.
But I think maturity is realizing the difference, because there's people who are quick to give up whenever they're unhappy with somebody, which I'm learning not to. That's my problem.
Part.
Yeah.
Go through the problems with them.
No.
But go through the problems with them.
Yeah.
I'm quick on being like, okay, you're unhappy with me. No, fine. I'll just leave. That's not how relationships work, Vanessa.
Yeah, my
but I'm
wife
learning
taught me that's not how relationships work. And in my past relationship, it was we were so young.
Right.
We were in our early 20s.
Oh yeah.
So I was still trying to figure out who I was. My frontal cortex wasn't even
Developed
yet. So I kind of blame it on that.
But
I feel so much like now that I'm past that and I'm in my really healthy marriage, and like she showed me what true love is and unconditional love is. Yeah. And our thing is like I love you because you're imperfectly perfect.
Yeah.
What a cheese ball. That's so cute.
Yeah. That's what I told her on our wedding day.
Did you? You said that? That was your vows?
To my vows. But now I'm like, okay, now it's the guilt and the shame of like, how did I let someone feel that? How did I allow that relationship to get so bad that I was okay to leave this world? And I'm not blaming it just on the relationship. It was also like my mental state and other things going on in life. But
a plethora of things.
Yeah, and she had to sit there and be like, okay, I guess I got to deal with it. And that was not fair to her.
100%. And the fact that you could take accountability for that, it wasn't fair for her.
Yeah.
And like with my first relationship, he apologized to me and he was like, it wasn't fair for what I forced you to go through. And I'm like, well, you didn't force me. And he's like, no. But like, as my partner, I think you thought you had to deal with it, which yes, in a certain degree.
Right.
But now I'm like, hey, like you know, I hope you're with your partner and you're happy. You're growing your family. That's amazing. Whatever. Like, I don't know. There's zero contact, but I'm kind of like, there's no bad blood. But now I know how to trust myself. Yeah. And how to say, no, we're going to keep fighting and we're both going to compromise and we're both going to get through the shit together. Or saying, okay, well, you're not bad. I'm not bad. We're just not great together.
Yeah.
And that's okay with any relationship, jobs included.
Oh, for sure.
Friendships.
Same thing.
What's really hard is with friendships, it's, I was really, really close with a friend since we were, I want to say like freshmen, whatever, right? Like freshmen in high school, freshmen in high school. And all the way up till like last year. But I realized like, I was like, no, this is like my writer. Like she's my lifer. We've gone through everything together, you know, kids, births, marriage, divorces, breakups, jobs, traveling, all this stuff. It was always like, no, she's by my side. She's by my side. She's by my side. But not realizing that, oh wow, we're growing that way.
I hate that part.
Mm-hmm. You know, we were like this, and then it's like, why do we bicker so much? But I'm like, oh, we're trying to fight onto something. And again, I have no idea what she's going through or you know, all this stuff. And there was many other things in that friendship that it was just truly, I think like probably like 3 years ago, we probably should have stopped talking. But no bad blood against her.
That's the codependent.
I think that's and it's no bad blood against her. I love her whole family. I love the kids. I wish nothing but the best for her. But I think it
just grow.
To me, it's grow,
and
it
in different
doesn't
directions, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I'm not bitter about it. I'm not like oh no, like it's cool. Like I hope great juju on your path.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go good juju on my path.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I've also seen it though in my life where we have friendships with people and we definitely go different ways. And then later on in life we reconnect and we're like, oh, it's just like, you know, we never had that 5 year of not talking.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and we're like, okay, back in each other's lives.
Those are people you trust though.
Yeah. And and it's like those are the people that you value in your life.
Yeah.
Even though you may not have
in a relationship.
What is
Attachment can refer to either emotional pulling away from the other person or creating space between two individuals to maintain emotional well-being. I'm very bad at detaching. I can acknowledge that.
I'm not anymore.
No, I'm not
anymore either.
When I was in that, I need you to leave me. I need you to leave me, ignore me, and put me on extinction burst, right? No, because I wouldn't.
She was Joe Goldberg.
I will always take you back. My loyalty runs deep, and I still am scared to that. Right now, I trust the person I'm with, and again, it's not that I didn't trust the past relationships. It's just somewhere along the line, something was broken, and I stuck around for years trying to make it work, right? And then in that time, he could never figure me out.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. I'm like, why can't you figure me out? Why can't you understand that I'm like going through a moment right now? Right? Like, and that's honestly, you're blaming this I was blaming this person that I'm not even communicating with. Read my fucking mind. Right?
Yeah.
Like, why can't you just know that I'm going through a depression episode, that this isn't normal, and I need extra support. I need you to be 100. I need you to be 110% right now because I'm negative 10.
But you never explained that to him, huh?
No. And I think the reason I stopped explaining was just because it got too far. It's like the boy that cried wolf, right? Like I would cry for anything. Like I'm not happy, and I would share those feelings when I was drinking. And I think those are a lot of things that ruin that relationship too. Again, now I looking back at it, I mean, we talk and we're very civil and everything like that. I'm like, I can acknowledge like we're just not good together.
Yeah.
And I think we were at the age between 25, is growing. And that's where now where I'm at now, I'm not that person. 2 years, like I had to find in that 2 years, like this last 2 years, I'm not that person, right?
Yeah.
But detachment, it's the weirdest thing because for friendships, I can detach very easy. I was telling you this.
Yeah.
That like there's certain people, you have to understand me that I'm a flake. But I'm very, I want to be
transparent about it. Yeah.
I'm like, sometimes I'll just ignore. And it's because I'm having a bad day. And when I have a bad day, I isolate.
Yeah.
But it's communication. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you, I don't want your feelings to get hurt because I'm ignoring you. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing I'm going to tell you, but I'm probably going to ignore you. Right. I want to be transparent in that way. And I'm actually working on that because it's not a good way to like put on your resume for friendships, right? And like check this out.
Here's what's in store.
Yeah, right.
What is it? The Chris Angel? It's like, are you ready?
No, but and then there's some people, and maybe that's where I define trust. Can you stick around
during those moments? Yeah.
Yes, my biggest. Can you stick around when I'm at my absolute lowest and I am, like you said, isolating? Can you stick around? But then that's what Omar was saying to where you just have to trust blindly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like you're never going to know someone's 100% intentions until they're in a situation.
To trust enough, I guess.
It all comes back to self-love.
Yeah. Oh, my laugh.
Anyways.
That was a good one, though.
So that was my suicide story.
Man.
I don't know how we got here. No.
I think a lot of people can relate, unfortunately.
It's the hardest thing. And even when I'm like listening to I want to know the details of why. Like for you, it's, like why, what was your reasoning? And that's what got me in trouble a lot in IOP because
they're like, Mary,
you were
stop.
Literally.
You're triggering people.
Okay, this is why I can't. I'm like, I prayed the best for you, dude. Right? Because like this one guy, I'm not supposed to talk, but I was patient.
This is a secret.
Man.
No, but like, how do you justify you live in Sacramento, you're in a wheelchair, you're blind, you have no family, you can't even go roll yourself to go get your prescription because you might get jumped. I'm like,
I get it.
I pray that you find peace. No, right? And then they're like, did you just encourage that? I'm like, no, I prayed that he finds peace. Because I get it.
I always say if the day I can't wipe my own ass,
that's what some people say,
is the day I gotta go. I want to find my peace.
There's certain things I think too that I couldn't live with, and I don't know if it's me being vain or I do care about this life that God gave me. But there's sometimes I'm like, no, be it. Like, I can't say it because I don't want to get bad reviews. Like That's it.
But no, but
I'll tell
even
you
me,
off the camera.
but even me saying that, like, okay, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced it. I haven't personally, but someone who's on life support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What and you're the one that has to make the call. That's oh my God! Like you don't wish that upon anybody.
I think that's unfortunately those are why we have to talk about those situations now while we're living because.
I guess with mental health, I'm so sensitive with it because
100%.
it is a disease.
Yeah.
And that's where you're like life support. You get to decide to pull the plug. How come I don't? Like if truly, and like I said, I know how to deal with it. I know when I'm starting to get beyond that point where I'm like, I need to get out. I need to go walk around and even just walk around the block and be around people. I cannot isolate even though I want to. But where do you get to that point mentally if the battle is so hard that I'm struggling every single day and every day is a battle. Some are harder than others. But where do you get to, like, why do I have to suffer that way? And I don't understand it. And even to this day, I'm like, that's why when people tell me, like, your story's your story, all I can do is open up and tell you mine.
Yeah.
And I think the more you share that, you're not the only one that feels that way because I don't have the answers. I don't know. It's not fair. It's absolutely not fair that you have to live with this every day. It's not fair that, you know, if whether you're a cutter or anything like these mental health things, it's not fair that you have to feel that way and be treated the same way as if someone that, let's just say, isn't in a wheelchair. Right?
Yeah.
Just because you can see the disability doesn't mean that it's not there. And that's where my dad, when he was saying that, like, I could see it if it was like, what is the technical term? I just can't think of it. Like when you're about to die, like cancer. You got a terminal. Like for terminal illnesses, where they're like, I could understand why you want to hop in a pod, right?
It's crazy because you do it yourself.
Oh, you go in yourself and close it and everything. I
new Paul kills women in Switzerland. It's only for women.
No, it's for
That's sexist.
Sorry, guys.
A lot of the stuff
Men want to die too.
A lot of the stuff is, since it's from Switzerland, it's all dubbed.
But do you have to be, so for this, do you have to have a terminal illness though, right?
You want to sign up?
so.
Wait, didn't Trump stop the...
There is no hotline.
There's no hotline.
Swear, what the fuck?
I don't think 90
You can visit me though. I am a counselor at crisistextline.com. There to answer your needs. No, it's
The fuck? Really?
they have the crisis text line.
Crisis hotline.
Oh, he thought about it. He didn't do it.
Okay, because I'm like, when did this break?
Crisis text line. There's a number on there too. It's not just a text line.
But I do want to touch on a quick,
Right there.
with
So I am a counselor on that.
I'm just searching for references. Okay.
No.
but with like our friend, the one that did pass. I was so angry with her for such a long time. But then I remember, I look back on our videos and it's so funny. I have 3 voice memos or notes that like, it's our recording, our conversations.
Right.
And I listened back to one of them the other day and I was like, you were in so much fucking pain. And it's like, I get it. I get it. Because no matter how many times I would sit next to you, no matter how many times.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but
It is
I
a lot
do
of
think
pain.
it is a lot of pain. And I honestly take it minute by minute, hour by hour.
Right. And it's not alone though. Depression.
No.
like, that's the hard part is you're like, I want to be there for you. I want to support you. I'm like, that's not fucking it.
Yeah.
What is it? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't
If
know,
I
but right
fucking
now I
knew.
kind of want you to fucking go away and that's really how I feel is like, just leave me alone. And then how tricky is that to be in a relationship with me? Leave me alone. I ain't giving me attention. I'm like that. I'm so like, swear. I'm hard to read. I'm like, thank you for leaving me alone. And I'm done with that. And
You're like, you can come back now.
they come on with me, right?
But I think it is really healthy. It's really, really healthy to tell your partner, and I'm learning this too because I was not good at this.
I'm good at it now.
Accountability.
I know. I'm learning, guys. But when your partner tells you, hey, I need space.
Ooh, that I had to learn that real quick.
I was like, why?
I was like, why? We need to talk about this now. What are you talking
Yep.
about? We need to fix this.
Yes,
And
that's
she's
how
like,
I was.
No, I just need space. And I'd be like, okay, I'll give you like 5 minutes and I'll come back.
Oh my God, no, that's how I am. But then I learned, I'm like, okay, like, stop.
Right.
That's them giving you healthy boundaries and
Yeah.
telling you, hey, I don't dislike you. I don't hate you. But right now, you're triggering me.
Yeah.
Give me space. Now.
Don't you think that happens because they're not giving you reassurance like throughout the rest of the time?
No, yes and no. Yes and no.
No, because I think because sometimes I'm just like, I need space because I need to process everything you just told me and I'm not ready to talk about it.
Yep.
So let me
Right.
tell you that. And she's like, okay, I'll give you space. When you're ready, come find
See,
me.
I think
Yes.
Travis says it, and I bet he reassures me in just everyday life. I'm like, you need space. I don't know what your problem is. Like,
Oh,
see you
yeah,
tomorrow.
look.
yeah,
see?
no,
The
but
purpose of space.
Yeah,
Space
but I
allows
think-
individuals to process emotions and reflect on situations and to recharge. With me, I know when I'm angry, I say some things, and then within 3 minutes, I'm like, but wait, why are you mad at me?
same.
I'm like, stop. I know I said that shit, but like, I was mad. Like, okay, can
I didn't
you
mean
stop?
it.
I didn't mean it. But then I'm like, wait, what I said to you really did affect you? I'm sorry.
Words have power.
Yes. And I am
And that's
now
why I'm
finally
sensitive.
learning. Aw.
No,
No,
but
I'm just kidding.
it's I don't know why it's so easy when there's no trust that's ever been broken or any like that part, like where once you really break it, like even let's say that the year, if you really took marriage serious, like that whole year, you just didn't mess with anybody, right? Very possible, but in my head you already did it, so it doesn't fucking matter. But let's say I broke that trust. How do you? It's hard to get back to that. Like, and it's with who I am now or the relationship I'm in now, that's never been broken. Everything is, and that's why I'm like, when I say God comes through, is He daily gives me the reassurance I need. And if I'm on my period and more needy, I don't know how He feels it, but it's like I love you every hour. And I'm like, okay, I don't need any more. Like, satiates me with attention that I'm like, okay, we're good.
My
Too
biggest
much.
thing is like, I just don't, as long as we go to bed and you could secure me in that aspect, I'm
Right.
okay. If we go to bed separately, that's my problem. That's my trigger.
Yeah.
If I'm with somebody, like that's a relationship, obviously, kind of aspect of it.
But that's
But-
where I think I learned is like, oh, we're mad? Fine, let's sit here mad together. But if he wants his space, I give it to him because I know it doesn't mean we're breaking up. I know that it doesn't mean you're going to go out to the bar and like cheat on me.
See, and I have that part to where I don't trust. To where it's like, oh, are you fighting with me because you want to go and do this? Why are you with me then?
Right.
Just go and do it.
Right.
Remember when we went out? Was it last week?
Mm-hmm.
And my wife went with us, and she was talking about how easy it was to be in a relationship finally. And with ease came the trust and everything else. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I kind of get that. Like it is kind of easy. I'm like, I'm not worried about anything.
That's why I'm hoping for our two friends.
Oh yeah,
I hope
it's easy.
it's easy for them.
When you find it also, I think you're like, some people like they had healthy childhood and everything and like hopped into a healthy relationship. Like they've experienced this their whole life.
Yeah, you're
And
like,
I'm
what?
like,
But I don't
Wow.
think I don't want to put shame to that though, to where some good relationships aren't easy sometimes.
no, and I'm not saying they didn't end, but they're healthy.
But healthy doesn't mean easy.
No, that's what I'm saying. Not easy, but healthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying because I'll say until now I've always been and like
But just like
toxic
body,
name
though.
calling, and I'm guilty of it too. Name calling, cheating, insecure, all the things that define a bad relationship I was in. Right? Some people know their boundaries. Like, no, it just didn't work out. Yeah, it was a good 2 years. It was fun. Oh yeah, he's great. Right? No, I'm like I had to go through hate. I had to go through, I'm pissed off at you. I had to go through everything to get to where I am
All stages
today.
of grief.
Yeah. But I always say that but
did.
healthy
Yeah.
though can look different to every single person. Just like
Right.
there I mean, I could sit here and be like, oh yeah, I think I'm a healthy person. But then you have like a nutritionist come in and they're like, well, actually,
the hot Cheetos at 10 o'clock.
But yeah,
Hot take. I'm curious. What is it going to take for you to get past that trust issue, like with the whole bar thing, like because we were talking about the whole new beginnings and then doing the whole risk taking, right? And
yeah.
So I'm just curious, like for somebody that has that same issue, what is it personally? What does it take? What do you think it's going to take for you to get over that? To be like, okay, I for sure trust you that you won't do this. You're not. This isn't what you're going to do. Like, what is it? Is there something that you gotta like? What's going to help you get over it?
I try to people don't believe in this, but I do. I think what's going to help me is talking about their past. And people are like, no, that's so unhealthy. You can't start off that way. You have to do a fresh start. I think it's how you do it. But again, I'm coming in completely blind. I have no idea. I'm trying. So I think that's one. It's let's sit down and put in our uglies. But also, I need to feel secured when they talk about their past. Hey, all honesty, you're single for, whatever reason. Like, let's just say that. What is it going to take for you to trust me? And I would say, prove it to me. And they're like, okay, but how? I'm like, I think if you truly want to, you'll figure out a way. I'm not going to give you that answer. And that could mean a lot of things. To me, if I call you, I want you to answer. And I'm not saying I'm going to freak out if you don't. Or if you're busy, tell me you're busy. If you're angry with me, don't just leave me. Like the whole silent treatment thing, don't do that to me. That's automatically gonna trigger my trust problems. I think that there is a long list of where I'm like, if somebody were to come up to me and be like, what would it take for me? And I'll be like, I just need you to prove it to me. I need to feel secured with you, emotionally secured with you. I think it goes back to where what I need now is I need to emotionally feel safe with you. And once I feel emotionally safe with you, you have my trust. And when you have my trust, I give it all to you. But once I'm at the stage right now, I could say, is I'm going to give you all the trust. I want to make sure I make you feel so emotionally safe as well. And if I do something to trigger you, I need to trust, and I need you to trust me that you could open up and tell me that. Instead of just bouncing out or instead of getting pissed off, tell me that I hit that trigger because I'm like, oh, look at us.
Understanding.
Yep. That's, for me, that's what I need. I can't speak for them. I can't speak for anybody, but yeah, that's what I need.
I think it's crazy to look at other relationships in our lives and kind of go off that. Like my grandparents were married for 61 years before my grandpa passed. Mm-hmm. My grandma and him, so he was 16 and she was 14 when they met. The 2 days after she turned 16, they got married. He was 16, she was 18. Or she was 16, he was 18. That. And they've been together ever since.
That's a thing.
And I'm just like, people. And I remember when he was still alive, I would ask him, I'm like, how do you do it? And he goes, the one thing that he always told me, and even in other relationships, he's like, always pick your battles. Because sometimes it's not worth it, and other times it is. And that's how you get through it.
And always choose your partner.
Yeah. It's the best relationship I've ever seen personally in my life. And now it's just Nana all alone. But we still take care of her.
Well,
she doesn't knit. Does she need
a Facebook buddy?
She does. She is on Facebook.
No. She need a Facebook buddy.
I think what worked.
Teach her how to stalk.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm available.
She'd love that.
She'll love that.
I started watching that show. You.
Me too. I'm on season 5 already.
I need to hop in that. No, for me. I don't know if it's necessarily trust, but to me it is trust. I trust my own instincts. And so I don't question trust. If you make me feel good about myself, and that increases my trust for you, right? Like I know you don't want to see me hurt. And that's the thing is like I trust that when I start getting like insecurity vibes and stuff like that, that this somewhere along, I'm not trusting you, and I'm learning how to let go.
Trust your good
yeah,
girl.
I have to let go because right in
your
the end, to me, my way of thinking is everything's temporary now. Nothing lasts forever,
true.
and it's whether it's through death, whether things just don't work out, whatever it is.
But this is gonna last. This podcast is lasting
forever.
forever.
What was that from?
Sandlot.
Forever.
My favorite movie of all time.
But as long as I feel good in the relationship, I
love
think that I trust you. I trust, and that's the second I start questioning, and that it sucks to say, but that's probably the time for me to exit because this is only going to go downhill from here because my insecurities, my trust, everything.
But you just said, because you said earlier that you are like, nope, we're staying, and you just said, but that's when I know I have to exit.
Yeah.
That's
You're
how you
growing, Gumdrop.
That's how you know you're in a really healthy relationship because before.
Because I can't see any reason why. I'm like,
Yeah, you're like,
My thing is don't date douche kebabs. Like that's it. Don't date a fucking douche kebab.
well, that's for you. That advice is for you
Not true. I had to spend 20 years
to figure it out.
dating douche.
Oh well, no. I'm just saying in
No, I'm
general.
just
It's not
kidding.
advice for me. It's just in general. Like
You're letting everyone know.
don't
do it.
Don't. But yeah, don't date douche kebabs. Don't be around people who are fucktards. Don't. I love just be around good fucking people that make you feel good.
You just have to make sure your cocktail's right. That's what I think too, right? It's like
if it's too much vodka, it's like, ooh.
he
I
was
like it,
vodka,
but-
and I was trying to add what tastes gross with vodka.
Nothing.
Nothing. I'm vodka. Let me switch that. I taste good with everything. Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
nothing.
whiskey. You're not gonna have a whiskey with orange.
Yeah, you can.
You can.
Okay, I'll help you. Ready?
Let's the bartender help us out here.
So we were whiskey and vodka, and then too much straight up shots just didn't mix well.
Well, they always say don't mix, don't take whiskey and vodka shots.
See, and maybe that's what. So we were both our own,
Dark and light.
Yeah.
Like, don't be mixing because that's when, and this is a true fact, guys.
That's what I mean. We're both a
things
good
start
time separate.
mixing. Oh, yeah.
Right?
But
And
don't be
that's
mixing each other.
No, because we mix each other and we just brought the worst out of it, and not. I don't. Really, what I want to say too is I'm not bashing anyone here. I might joke about the relationship and stuff like this, but in the end,
Same.
There
We're
was a
not
part-
bashing anybody in our past relationship.
No.
well, I've gotten to the point where
But they're the past for a reason.
I'm accountable for my part. I'm accountable.
Taking accountability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where I'm like, and I think and now it's just like I know everything's temporary. I enjoy it as much as I can while it lasts. If it starts feeling like a job or like,
It's me preaching for you.
yeah, get it.
Can we end it by our song?
Wait, I have one more thing.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
sorry. No, it's okay.
I just assumed. What
no,
a
it's okay.
God.
I need to speak up.
Yeah, you
But
do.
one thing that my wife had told me before we started dating was like, oh, in your past relationships, if somebody cheated on you, would you leave? And I said, no. And she said, why? And I'm like, because then what's the point of being in that relationship? Like, we can make it work. There was something
Yeah.
that I did wrong. If they were stepping out of the relationship.
I don't judge people who stay during a cheating relationship, though.
You don't want?
I don't judge people who stay if their partner cheated or they cheated. I just
I think
think
sometimes
to each
that
his own.
happens too.
Yeah.
Like
the
there's
cheating
Not
part?
saying it's okay. Yeah. No, I'm being
Just
serious.
Yeah.
No, but
No, seriously, like the story
so
was kind of
clumsy.
crazy. I
He
was
was
like,
so
"There's, oh wow, that really happened." Like, I believe you. I'm sorry that happened.
I don't condone
judge
it.
People that I don't condone it, but I think there are like forgiveness things, right?
Yeah.
And I only say that because the separation, if that's what you wanted to consider cheating, fair enough. In marriage, it is cheating. You're allowed to ghost your wife for a while and come back.
I don't think that's how it works.
It's all your fault. Back to square one.
But what's funny is my wife asked me,
It's
like
not his fault.
a few months ago, she was like, "Hey, remember when I asked you, like, if somebody cheated on you, would you leave?" And she goes, "Would you leave now?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "You would?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would." And she goes, "Why?" And I was like, "Because you taught me my worth."
gang.
And I was like,
Hey.
and we did the same thing. She was like, "I got you." Aww. And I was like,
Good shit.
and that's how you know you're growing.
It's so fun.
Good shit. But for this episode, I would have to say it's a very serious. So anyone who does need help, go ahead, Mary. I'll help you take over for this one.
Oh, so we definitely have resources. You can always text home to 741-741. That is a text line. If you just need somebody to talk to, I am a counselor on that also. So it's one of those lines that if you just want to say hi and you're feeling lonely, give me a shout out. I'm up too.
NAMI Fresno, also always available.
Right.
And then 988.
988.
Yes, 988.
Is still available. Thank you.
And comment, reach out to one of us if you can relate, all that fun stuff. But definitely use your sources. Please, please, please use your sources.
It's definitely not a joke. We might joke about it just because that's a defense mechanism for me, is humor.
Yeah.
But no, we take it very seriously, and reach out to us.
Yeah.
If you need someone to have your back, we can give you those resources. 100%.
Yeah.
All right.
It's past Mary's bedtime.
That's all. I'm looking at the clock.
I know, she kept looking at the clock.
I'm doing these symbols to them like.
Wrap it up.